Miss Sophia Lacroix, thank you so much for doing this interview video. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, Jimmy. I'm so grateful to you for allowing me to be part of this. Not only because of our friendship and relationship through our job at FIU, but also with my history, formerly working for Sant and being a longtime member of Miami's Haitian American community. So this is so exciting, and I'm very proud of you.
What were your hopes or expectations for your new life here?
Okay, so I have put it into context. My family and I migrated here in '84 when I was 14 years old. It came to me and my siblings as a surprise because my mother, who was just this amazingly intelligent, phenomenal woman, um, just had a forethought that our destiny was to be in the US because she realized that there was not much life for us for that she could provide us as really the sole breadwinner in our family. There was not much she could do to for us when we became of college age. And also, she said that her father, my grandfather, Colonel de Graff, who had passed away when she was a teenager, had come to her in a dream and told her, "My child, great things wait for you in the United States." So in '84, in '83, she decided to move and set the path by working whatever job she could without papers. And we all came as tourists who overstayed our visas. So um, we entered legally. It's just we, like so many other people at the time, we applied for asylum, but it just didn't. It was a very interesting challenge and path, unbeknownst to us children. But it's we didn't know. I thought I was coming for the summer, so I left everything, including my art supplies, and or my artwork, which what I miss, and all my friends, leaving just having graduated from quatrième secondaire and heading to troisième. So I left my girls, my crew of girls, and came here. Um, Very surprised when they enrolled us in summer school at Parkway Middle. It was just a shock. So,
Mhm. What was the most difficult part about leaving Haiti?
well, I have to tell you, when I came here, the biggest shock for me, and mind you, coming to the United States is the best thing that ever happened to my family and I. But the biggest shock for me was how flat Miami was. I don't know if any other Haitians had that experience, but when I came here, I was like, wait a second, and I looked in the horizon. Where are the mountains? And that was really weird. And the other thing, and I know a lot of you Haitian women can relate to this, they kept calling me Marie. I didn't even know my name was Marie. My name had always been Sophia. They kept calling me Marie because my name was Marie Sophia. So, and I guess because I was so shocked at being away from Haiti that I think I tried to suppress the Sophia of Haiti and I became Marie. And I took on the persona and yeah, and tried to forget those beautiful mountains. So that was challenging. It was just everything, just being in this new environment with a new language, with new people. Oh, the other thing, no offense, but when they took me and put me in, um, I guess, regular arithmetic, I thought, oh my God, Americans are stupid. Because I had already been in geometry by the time I was in fourth grade, which is the equivalent of eighth grade. And they put me in, I guess they didn't know because I didn't speak English at the time. They didn't know where to place me. So they put me in beginning mathematics and they had to just keep me jumping me. Like within a month, they put me in the right grade. They realized when I started excelling academically, I excelled in Haiti. I was premier de classe on a regular basis. So that was the challenging thing. Is just I really thought, oh my God, I'm in a weird place, no mountains, surrounded by people who academically are stupid. So, not that I think that, whatever, it's just, really? Beginning arithmetic? Really? So, that was strange.
What do you miss most about Haiti?
Honestly, you have to see that I see the world through the lens of an artist. Um, Haiti is to me bright, beautiful marketplaces. So the marketplaces, that's why I paint so much about them. I miss bright colors of clothing, those paniers that I cannot find. If anyone knows where I can buy a Haitian panier, let me know. Um, the beautiful, the way the sun reflected on the skin, which is a little different from here in Miami because Haiti's more towards the equator, and so the sunlight we got in Haiti is slightly different than here. So it's just the reflection was just so beautiful, and just yeah, the marketplace in the mountains, the scenery.
Who
So,
was most helpful with getting you settled here?
my mom. My mom's always been the rock. Um, we went through some tough times. We didn't know about assistance, public assistance. We didn't have money. So my mother did odd jobs wherever she could get her hands on, even waitressing and or working at a laundromat. And so uh, it was she was just this example of strength, never sitting idle and just keep going. So um, she was just who I relied on. It wasn't anybody else new. Um I had I gravitated towards Haitian folks. My younger sister Tamara was also my best friend in high school, so we stuck together. They ended up putting us for some strange reason in the same grade. They put me one grade behind, so so that it could be easy. But yeah, it was my mom. Just the way she kept going as really the only parent there at the beginning.
Can you think of a time when you felt unwelcome as an immigrant
Oh
in this country?
yeah, you want the list? You have to understand. I came to the States, to the United States. My siblings and I came in the mid 1980s, in the middle of the whole Haitian boat people discrimination, where Haitians were looked at as just not even second class citizens. We were just treated so poorly. I remember one particular instance, and context again for those who don't know. So I think it was around either 1980 or 89 that the riots, the Overtown had been set afire because, and I forget his name, forgive me, that men on a motorcycle had been brutalized and killed by the police officers in Overtown, and then they were acquitted in California. So here in Miami, people had revolted, so there was already this very tense racial atmosphere, and then there was a boat load of Haitian folks who came right in um, Biscayne Bay, I think, and so you had this migration of Haitians, and it kept increasing because the coup happened in 86 in Haiti, so you had a lot of Haitians coming. So people in Miami felt uncomfortable around Haitians and were very discriminatory. They were very biased against Haitians. They had concepts like HBO, Haitian body odor, and uh, being Haitian, being called Haitian was a curse word. Haitian children pretended not to be Haitian, but my siblings and I, this was shocking to us because that's not the life we knew. And it's our personality. We don't back down from shying away from who we are. We are who we are, good or bad. You're Haitian, you're Haitian. Everywhere has negative stuff. Being Haitian to me has always been a privilege, a sense of a source of pride. So when these idiot girls in high school started, no, this was in middle school for some, no, I think it was, yeah, we spent 1 year at Parkway in ninth grade. Back then, ninth grade was in middle school. So that ninth grade, those girls decided to beat my sister and I because we were Haitian, and even tried to push my younger sister into traffic on 183rd Street because her so-called friend told her that if anybody bothers you, and she told someone who did not speak English, if someone ever tells you bothers you, tells them, I'm gonna kick your ass. Forgive the graphic language. So my sister didn't know it better. She told them, and they started bugging her as we were walking about a mile home. And when in that day, my sister and I fight. We fought in since we're children, cats and dogs, and our whole life we've gone time without speaking. That's siblings. So I wasn't even speaking to her, and I'm walking, and I turn around, and I'm trying to push my sister onto the traffic, and I dropped my books and ran to try to defend her. They punched us in the face. I went to College Marianne, an all-girl Catholic school, and I was in a very strict home. I didn't know you could hit, much less in the face. So that was very traumatizing for us, traumatic. The next day, my very tall uncle, Uncle Gila, one of the DeGraffs, he's a sweetheart. He went to school very angry and spoke to them, but we were suspended. That was new because they don't care. As long as you're involved in a fight, you're part of it. And I had to deal with the fact that we got beaten up for being Haitian. And then I think the next year somebody put gum in my hair. Back then my hair was down to almost my waist, and I guess somebody didn't like that. They put gum in my hair. But the same ridiculous girls that beat us up, that felt they were superior to us, by the time we reached high school, and back then we had assimilated language, we excelled academically. She tried to become my friend, tried to say hi in the hallway. Of course, I ignored her because, who has time for that? And then, as life would have it, after I had graduated from college on a full ride, okay, me, little lowly American, used their system to get my education, thank you, on their dime. That same girl, when I was working at my job, she was behind a counter selling 50-cent sodas because all her mightiness of not being Haitian amounted to her never having accomplished much, because my college educated self, again, on her tax dollars, on her dime, because of my hard work and intelligence, resulted in me getting a good paying job when she could only sell sodas behind a counter. And there you go.
What is the thing that you're most proud of?
My daughter. My princess, who's 13 and will roll her eyes right now. The 13-year-old attitude. But let me tell you, I've done great paintings, and I've been blessed with a wonderful, beautiful man that I adore, Willie. But the best thing I ever did in life is that girl, my daughter, my little gift from God at 40. She is just, even this morning I was telling her that she's the most interesting person I've ever met. She is, all mothers say that, I know, my mother says the same thing about me. The most beautiful girl I've ever seen. The most intelligent. She drew these eyes for me. She draws, she does music, she does ones. What a blessing. That's my magnum opus. That's my masterpiece, Natalie.
Okay, since migrating here to the country, how did it make you stronger?
How did it make me stronger? You know all these things that they tell you when you're a child and you roll your eyes at? Dis-moi qui tu fréquentes, je te dirai qui tu es. Tell me who you frequent, I'll tell you who you are. Um, it's all true because one of the best things I ever did, I had the fortune of meeting this amazing group of girls in college freshman year. And so the strength is the people I met. I met. I attribute that to the strength. Of course, migrating here opened opportunities for me that I would not have had in Haiti. I don't think that in Haiti I would have been able to get an academic scholarship and to go to University of Florida, which was excellent school. It's even better now. I don't think I would have had the opportunity. I could have met great people, but I don't think I would have met the people I did. And I think because 2 years after we left, the coup happened with Duvalier leaving and the country's changed, I honestly don't think I would be alive today. Had we stayed in Haiti, I would not have been alive. So here changed my life for the better because it gave me a future. I had a good future, successful future because of coming here.
Okay, last question. Let's talk about Sophia Lacroix, the artist.
Okay.
How did you get into art, and how did the path towards being an artist change your life?
Okay, so first, most artists and I had that chat recently with this amazing artist, Thierry Barthold, who's just, God, his work is just make my brain spin. He's a charcoal pencil artist. So being an artist is not a choice, it's who you are. So in college, freshman year, I tried to suppress it because I had been convinced I needed to go to medical school because since I excelled academically and I had a scholarship, so I had to become a doctor, not an artist. So I was trying to suppress it. It manifested itself in me trying to sew my own clothes, which is such a joke, and doing other things like creating artistic things. But I found my way back to art when I was 23, and it really, really changed my life. Art has been the thing in my life that has solved every problem for me. I got my green card because I was able to demonstrate exceptional talent as an artist. I met Willie at an art event at MoCA, and again at the festival because of Emeline. Hi, Emeline. Emelina Alexis Schultz, who's always been my good luck charm. And art has just brought me money, extra money, but sadly I've never been able to make my living full time as an artist. Still hoping, but I've been blessed with a loyal following of collectors. Gypsy, thank you, and Leonie have always been supportive. They own some of my pieces. It's just the thing that has just been always a constant for me. As a kid, when I was upset, when I was stressed, frustrated, I drew my Barbie over and over. I drew. Art is the thing that I turn to when anything and everything is going wrong or great. It's what I do to relax. I have to create always. There's always a painting or two in my head. When I'm driving on the highway, sometimes I get distracted because I'm building one of my next pieces. I have maybe 100, 200 pieces in my head at all times. It's such a blessing. Being an artist is just, I thank God. It's the reason I found my way back to God. Having been agnostic for a little bit, just you can't deny divine presence when I see what He allows me to create. It's art is so amazing, and it brought me Willie and it brought me Natalie.